I want to talk about the darker side of my upbringing and my past that have paved the way to who I am today. So I'm sure just like you and really like all of us, we have a darker side to our past that has made us into who we are. And I just want to share a little bit about me and my journey. If you've heard me before, you've probably known about my journey to becoming a chiropractor and really to be aware that my current reality of how I was raised is not the reality. Stephen Covey made this quote that I thought was very spot on. And he said this: you never see the world the way it is, you see the world the way you are. And for me growing up, I was a middle child of 8 kids. When I was 16 years old, I got injured playing sports. So particularly I got injured pole vaulting and I had an accident and it led to me to where I could not even run around the track at all. Significant low back pain, no doctors could help me. Now, I know what you're thinking, well, that doesn't sound very dark, but for me, being that my identity was wrapped up in being an athlete, was wrapped up in sports, and I wanted to be just like my brothers. I wanted to go play sports in college. I knew that I got attention when I did good at sports. It was dark. There was a period when I went to doctor after doctor after doctor and nobody could help me. And I was left with the reality in my mind that I was never going to get it better. And as a 16-year-old, never getting better with sports being the thing, the only thing I wanted to do, there was a lot of stress. But within those moments and within that journey, it allowed me to carve a new path. I would have never been a chiropractor. I would have never gotten to natural health. And therefore, I would have never discovered some of the truth that I now see the world through. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but when you are open to a new reality, you don't just discover this one singular reality. You realize there's a whole other world out there. So Stephen Covey's quote is so perfect in that we don't see the world the way it is, we see the world the way we are. And when I was exposed to a new truth, it allowed me to look back on everything else and say, what is true? What is real? What is right? And then it allowed me to carve my own path. And so that dark past, that dark thing that happened to me ended up being one of the greatest things in my life. My test became my testimony. So then here's how it played out. I ended up going to learn a truth that I didn't know. I knew the world needed to hear this truth. And because of that, I became very convicted of this thing, convicted of the value that I had. And here I was. I grew up in a very loving home. I was the 5th of 8 kids. But I learned very early on that I didn't want to ever create any attention on me, because my parents already had it tough the way it was. 8 kids, trying to survive, and I just never wanted to be another burden. I didn't want to be a weight of stress. And so I learned if I could just keep the attention off me, that life was better off. At the same time, knowing I wanted to be seen, heard, and valued. I wanted to have significance. And if you study Tony Robbins' work, he says that there are 6 human needs: certainty, uncertainty, growth, contribution, significance, and love. And so though I learned to push the attention away from me or do things that would not get me in trouble. I didn't stay out late. I didn't break curfew. I didn't drink. I didn't run around with the wrong crowd because I just didn't want to put that weight on my parents. I say that because here I am now. I'm willing to go in front of anybody at any time to share this thing that I'm so convicted of. But in college, I took 2 English classes so I could avoid taking a speech class. To think how far I've come, the last place I would ever be would be on a camera or be on a stage. But my journey has been to become a best-selling author, an international speaker, Olympic team doctor, a university professor, and I've started multiple 7-figure businesses, all underneath the realm of human communication. And so it's just funny how God will put you in spots that will make you become the person that you would never thought you would become. And so that was my journey. And I'm telling you this story because I'm assuming you're out there shaking your head up and down because you know you have that same feeling, that you have had a similar journey, that you have never thought you'd be where you're at today, but you've got inspired, you got convicted of this thing and you couldn't turn away from it. And lo and behold, you sit here saying, I still have it. And now my journey is wrapped up in trying to understand human behavior and human decision making. Because as neuroscientist Gregory Burns said, you could have the greatest idea in the world, new, novel, completely unique, and able to change the world. However, if you can't convince enough people, then it doesn't matter. So now I find myself really diving down into understanding human communication so that someone like you and I can better take our message and ideas to the world so we can make it a better place. Now, you may be saying, well, Dr. Dan, your past is not that dark. And I may agree with you. I believe that we all have a unique darkness and light in our past. And I don't consider it to be that dark, but I do consider it to be uniquely challenging in all the right ways. And I live by the motto that God doesn't bring us pain or specific challenges, but He will use all for good for those who love Him. And now I look back and I'm just so thankful for my journey. I'm thankful for the way I was raised. I'm thankful for the obstacles that I've had, and I'm thankful for the ones that are going to come. And so I hope that you can relate. If you ever struggle with communicating, or you know you have this thing inside you, you're convicted of this thing and you know you need it to be bigger and stronger and to reach more people, it's what I love to do. I love to study human psychology, human decision making, and ultimately help on purpose, passionate entrepreneurs, probably like yourself, take your mission and your message to the next level. Everything that's happened in your past, dark or light, was there for a reason. And when you can look at it that way, the way that now I see my past, that's how you get to the next level. Is you be honest with yourself, you be grateful for your past, and ultimately all the skills, knowledge, and wisdom you have from that past will guide you in the future. If I could be of help any way, anytime to you and your journey, I would love to be a part of it. I hope you connected with the story. I hope it edified you and helped you to remember you're not alone, you're not unique, and the next level to your success and impact is waiting. If I can help, let me know. Dr. Dan, I'm out.